DC United fans? Claudia Pagan here. Welcome to this week's Player AMA, where we go live into one of our players' homes and have them answer some of your very own questions. And this week we're talking to Russell Canouse, who also happened to score the very first DC United goal for the 2020 season. He's going to be answering some of the questions that you guys submitted, along with some questions from youth leagues around the DMV area, and we're even going to be taking some questions live as we go along. So make sure that you stay tuned in, retweet, share the stream, and don't forget to submit your questions down below, and we'll try to get them answered by Russ.
Supporters in full voice now, looking for a goal. Headed down, it's in the net, it is a goal! Russell Canouse has opened the scoring in 2019. The supporters started singing. Canouse giving them reason to sing even more.
Hello, Russ. How are you?
Good. How you doing? That's good to see.
I'm good. It is. How have you been doing during quarantine?
I'm doing my best to stay busy, maintain the fitness and everything. It's obviously tough with everything that's going on, but I'm doing well. How about you?
That's good. I've been good. I've been keeping up with everyone's workouts. Unfortunately, I don't have a 22-pound French bulldog to work out with. But how's your dog?
No, she's great. She's doing well, and she's helping me in my workouts, keeping me disciplined here. Barking at me if I'm not doing it right.
A little motivation. That's all. That's what we all need.
Yeah. No, everyone's good here. We're safe right now. It's obviously a difficult time for everyone, but we're doing our best.
Of course. So I'm going to jump into it because this question actually kind of pertains to what you just said. So we've got some fan questions. We've got questions from youth groups in the area. So the first question that we have is, there's a lot of focus on the negative impact of COVID-19. What's something positive that's happened to you as a result of the crisis?
Yeah, I mean, you can always look at it as, obviously, I mean, there's a lot of negative going on right now. A lot of people passing away, a lot of families obviously in tough times. Everyone is impacted in a different way. For me, obviously I'm trying to avoid my family, but I look at these times, I'm trying to find an opportunity in these times, and what can I do to continue to prove myself personally, whether it's dealing with soccer, trying to, continue to maintain my fitness and stay fit during this time, and really use that as discipline, looking at as an opportunity to, like, how can I improve myself? What can I do extra now that I'm not able to do during the normal season? And then also from a business perspective, I'm busy with all those types of things that I'm doing. So it's just been I've been trying to look at it as an opportunity to really excel and make sure I'm productive with my time. I'm not just busy, I'm actually productive in what I do. And also just spending time with family. I know for a lot of people, they've used that as an opportunity, and that's some of the positives that have come out of it for a lot of people. And for me, that's definitely one, being able to spend time with my wife and Lola.
Super important.
Yeah.
So the next question, gonna throw it back to your younger days. So first, what was it like growing up in Lancaster?
It's a great question. I love Lancaster. I miss it. It's nice that it's not too far that I can go visit. It's been tough because I'm so close right now, but I haven't been able to visit just because I don't want to put anybody in harm in my family. But yeah, I mean, for me, looking back on it, it's a great place to raise a family. People think of obviously all the Amish and the farmland and everything. I grew up in a normal school district, Hempfield School District, where we have neighbors. Everything's normal. I went to my public high school, but I had a great childhood there. I had a good family that supported me and everything I've done up until now. And I look back at Lancaster, and it's great going home and visiting, because that's where all our families are as well, both my wife and myself. So
I've got family there. My dad's sister, so my aunt is from there. So we go there 2-3 times a year, and it's beautiful there.
Yeah, I mean, you appreciate it. Like, obviously living in a DC in the city, and I'm in Alexandria, but this environment, I love it here. But also going back and getting out of all the hectic and just relaxing and enjoying nature, that's some of the things I enjoy as well. So I enjoy going back there and reminiscing also of my childhood there.
Yeah. So the next question is, were you nervous moving to Germany, and what was the big adjustment in the style of play compared to here in the U.S.?
Who asked that one? Zach? Is it Zach? Can you
We've
see
got Zach from a youth team at
Zach,
Liverpool.
Okay. That's a good question. Yes, definitely nervous. Moving to a foreign country without speaking the language, everything. I went there on trial for a week and a half, but that doesn't prepare you for actually moving there and being on your own. I had lived down in residency with a U17 national team down in Florida for a year. So I was 14 years old at the time. So that kind of prepared me for moving abroad. But nothing really prepares you for moving to a foreign country and not being able to feel like you're part of that culture. So that was obviously one of the biggest adjustments. Now, in terms of style of play, the game was just completely faster over there compared to what I was used to in the academy at that time. I was with Red Bull, and even being with the youth national team at the time, moving to Germany and being a part of the U17 team for Hoffenheim was a big adjustment in terms of speed of play. So that's what.
How's your German?
It's good. I still got it. I hope Julian agrees with me with that. I'm fluent in German, and I hope to keep that as well. So I've been lucky enough to have someone in the team every single moment I've been at the club so far that can speak German with me. So there's been multiple Germans obviously within our team, and then I was able to speak with Zoltan as well. Back he spoke German, so we practiced all the time. So hopefully I don't lose it. That's my goal is to keep
it. I love it. So next question is, what has been the highlight of your career so far?
There's a few. I think the biggest one was my Bundesliga debut. I went, like I said, I moved to Germany at 15 years old. I didn't really know what to expect. You continue to go up the ladder in the academy system, and you continue to see the professional guys and the guys you're playing with make the first team. You go to the pro games as a kid. So that was always something I looked up to. That was my goal as a player, as a youth player. I wanted to do everything possible to be able to get out on that field in the stadium that I watched these guys playing, and to be able to get out on the field in an important game. Hoffenheim, my debut was against Wolfsburg, and Hoffenheim was in a relegation battle. So at that time, we needed to win. And I made my Bundesliga debut in the 60th minute. We were up 1-0 against Wolfsburg, and it was a really pressure moment. But we ended up winning the game and securing staying in the Bundesliga for the club. So it was a huge game for the club, and obviously even more, highlight for me in my career. So definitely that's been the biggest one.
And now switching over to DC, next question is, what's been your best DC United moment?
The best DC moment, I think, was my first game coming back. I mean, I enjoyed being a part of the last call at RFK, but the first game back being in RFK, that was a pretty cool experience just because I grew up watching games as a kid. Many of the fans possibly know that I came down to RFK as a kid. My dad brought me down and used to watch the 03, 04, down in the early 2000s, those games at RFK Stadium. And that being back at RFK and playing that last season at RFK was a pretty special moment for me. And it was a huge moment for the club as well. So a lot of my moments and my highlights are big moments with the club that obviously impacted me personally as well. So that was really cool.
Next question is, who is your best friend at DC United?
That's Paul. We know everyone knows Paul and I have had a long, I'll say we've known each other a while. We've been together playing since U14 national team and all the way up. We've stayed in touch since then. So it's Paul, I'll say, is my best friend, and he's a great teammate of mine.
So I was anticipating this. I was anticipating that answer. So the next question comes from none other than Paul Arriola himself. What came first, the bratwurst or the schnitzel?
Did he just post that one?
He sent that one to our Instagram.
Oh my god. Paul, that's a great question. I honestly do not know. I'll have to call you later for the answer. But I'll say what I like out of those two. I like schnitzel better than bratwurst.
I've had neither. So
Bratwurst.
All right. So before
sausage, but
it's better, you said?
no, I mean they're both literally just. I mean, you've probably had them, but they're not formulated in that. Like bratwurst is sausage. I'm sure you've had it maybe, and then schnitzel is just fried chicken or pork, really. But it's just the way they call it over there. So
got it. Before we keep going, if you are watching on Facebook, if you're watching on Twitter, make sure that you drop those questions in the comment sections so we can get Russ to answer some of your questions. I'm going to keep going. So, Russ, the next question I've got for you is going to need a take on this. And if you're going to dye your hair black in any kind of way, referring to Yamil Assad turning blonde.
in the background. No, I saw this.
That's my favorite part.
I know. When I saw this when I retweeted yesterday, I saw this question pop up. So this was probably the only one I knew coming. Gonna need a take if I'm gonna dye my hair black and no, I'm not a fan of that. I mean, I like getting my haircuts and I need a haircut right now. Obviously, with this quarantine, it's difficult. My wife she cut my hair 3 weeks ago. It turned out well, but I don't think I'll be asking her to dye my hair anytime soon.
I think you might be the only one that's going to let their wife cut their hair, because I heard Felipe ask Fred over at Instagram Live like a week or two ago, and Fred was like, and I think Felipe's wife slid in the comments and was like, there's no way I'm cutting your hair. She's
good. I mean, I actually asked for clippers for Christmas from her parents, and she kind of has a little barber in her background, her family background. She's never personally cut hair, but she actually has done a good job. So I was impressed. So I'm pretty good here, but I don't think we'll be dyeing it like Kimio.
I love the trust there, though. I'm going to take a question from Facebook. Kendall says, "Hey Russell, how is it playing with Wayne Rooney?"
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten that question a lot, and it makes sense why people ask that. It was great. I mean, Wayne came into the locker room from day one, and he showed respect and was just another guy in the locker room and showed professionalism. He didn't really ever think he was above anyone else. That's what I loved about him. And obviously he brought a whole bunch of experience and great moments on the field and off the field with us. So he's obviously missed, but I'm glad he's doing well back in England.
I love it. Next question that we've got is, who is the funniest player on the team?
Ooh, it's gonna make me think real quick. It's hard because we're not in the locker room interacting with guys daily right now, so I gotta think.
Yeah.
You know who I think's really funny, and it's just his mannerisms and he's the way he speaks. I haven't been around him too long, but it's Moses. I think Moses is super funny. I like him. I mean, he's very confident, but like funny at the same time. I really
he's
like
kind of funny where it just kind of like slips in, like he'll just make a comment and it's just like, wait, that you're not even trying right now.
I'll ask a question and like he's just, he's mature for his age. It's good to see. It's good to be around him. So I'd probably say him. I mean, there's obviously other guys that fall into this category for sure, but that's someone outside the box. Fisher always has a good attitude. Like he's a pretty good guy, funny guy to be around. Trying to think. Let me go down the line. Yeah, there's probably other guys I'm forgetting. So sorry if you think you're funny in the team, and I'm not saying you're.
If you're watching this and you're a DC United player, Russ apologizes.
I'll say Birnbaum. I don't want to forget Birnbaum. He's got a interesting sense of humor. So I'll put him in there. And Paul's very fun. Paul's funny too.
Who, Paul?
Paul's fun.
You got it. You have to add him.
We already talked about Paul, so I don't need to include him in there.
Enough talking about him. Yeah. Next question that we got is, how do you get along with your teammates? It sounds like you get along pretty well. And how do you communicate with the Spanish-speaking players?
Yeah, I feel like I have a great relationship with all the guys. That's something important to me. Obviously, off the field, just making sure that I gel with all the guys in the team. And the Spanish guys, I love them. I try to sing reggaeton in the locker room. I love the Spanish music. Um,
I love
but I mean, all those guys, they speak English really well, and they try to speak English. And if there's, most of them understand everything we're saying to them, and we can have a good conversation. So it's just about, if, for example, Edison, he's done a great job trying to gel into the locker room and learn English even better. His English isn't as far along as the other guys, but I can still hold a small conversation with him and show him that, hey, you're welcome in the team. Like, we really appreciate you being here, and we can hold conversations even though English isn't their first language, right?
So I'm going to take a fan question from Facebook. Brendan wants to know, what player from the 1996 DC United team would you want to play with? We got a good list of legends there, so choose wisely.
Give me like the big. Give me some choices so I don't miss out on anyone.
Let's see. We got Richie. Richie, he was your last year for Loudon. We had, of course, Jaime Moreno. That's who I would pick. That was my favorite player growing up.
My dad, Goose. How do you say his name? Jeff.
I say a Goose, but I know that's wrong.
It's Goose, I think. But
you probably know better than I do.
My dad had talked about him a lot back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he was always a tough player. I may go with him.
You're gonna go with him? I love it.
Tough question. Good question.
Toughest question we've gotten so far. Next question I've got for you is, what would you be doing if you weren't a football player?
If I wasn't a football player, I don't know. I do see myself being in soccer. I love soccer. I know I have other business stuff I do outside the game and trying to develop, but at the same time, I do enjoy giving back to the game because it's done so much for me. I don't know, maybe a coach or a soccer agent. If not that, then I was always interested in finance and something within business, being creative there. But real estate obviously is always on the back burner too, but it's a tough one. It could go multiple ways. I'd probably be doing multiple things if I wasn't a soccer player.
I mean, you're a soccer player and you're still doing multiple things.
Yeah, but.
All right. So next question is, what is your favorite training drill?
Is this should we discuss a team training drill or are we doing individual?
I would say team. I would say team training drill.
I can touch on both probably.
Okay.
I always like the small-sided little possession games. Just where it's really tight space and you have to make decisions quickly, and when the ball turns over, you got to react quick to win the ball back. Those were always fun for me. We did a lot of them in the Hoffenheim Academy, just to promote transition when the ball turns over. And then from an individual standpoint, there's a lot that I could touch on, but obviously no one loves just doing fitness, so I'm definitely not going to say that. It's a lot of the technical drills I do on the side. So hope that.
I'm going to take a live. No, that's perfect. I'm going to take a live question real quick from Brenda. She wants to know, what player that has moved to another team do you miss the most?
Oh, that's so hard. How are you going to do that to me, Brenda?
All of them.
No, I mean, there's been I've been here 2.5 years, and there's been quite a few players that have left. And I mean, I honestly can't pick one because I had different relationships with all of them. You take guys like Patrick Mullins, Taylor Kemp, Wayne, Lucho, every single player that has been here and moved on, I've had a relationship with them. So
It's a hard question. I didn't know if I should throw it at you, but I wanted to see what you'd say.
No, I hope that gives a little insight, like my relationship with guys. Like if multiple guys were to leave, like it doesn't make it any easier. I mean, obviously, if there's Paul's been a best friend of mine for a while, so if he's going to leave, it's going to hurt more than obviously other guys. But at the same time, like relationship, I mean, that's the problem. Not a problem, but that's the difficult thing with pro sports, right? We go through, new teammates all the time. You're always accepting new guys in the locker room, seeing guys that you bonded with off the field, on the field, leaving. So it's always difficult to deal with those types of things.
Of course. So next question that we've got is, how does your tactical or technical approach to a game change between playing as an outside back versus a defensive midfielder? Also, Merlot or Cabernet?
Love that question. It definitely differentiates depending on what position I'm playing. Obviously, with playing right defender, right back, the end of last year and obviously this year, I take a little bit different tactical perspective going into each games. Center midfielder, I'm obviously forcing the game wide and trying to close down the middle. Where outside back, with the ball as well. It's obviously you're always thinking, trying to take up different positions, moving off your teammates. Now it's been interesting playing the right defender because I've been able to implement what I've done over the years in center midfield and kind of adjust, right? I can build out of, let me know if I'm talking too much in detail here, but there's times where I can build out of a three back in the back. I can play as an outside back. Sometimes I can even move into the middle. So my experience playing in the middle has allowed me to play that outside back position at a little bit of a different style tactically. So it's been good, and it makes it difficult for the opponents to pick up, hey, why is this guy in the middle all of a sudden? Why is he out back? Why is he now building with the back line? So there's definitely a different approach. And the technical piece behind that question I'll touch on is, I don't think there's much different there. Obviously you're in different positions. I'm going to be crossing more as outside back where I haven't had those repetitions playing in the middle. So it's always a little bit different. It's been a little bit of adjustment, but I'm learning every single day playing there. So it's been good. And Merlot or Cabernet, I'm going to say Merlot.
Merlot. That was the toughest question up until this point, right?
Yeah, that was tough. My dad would say Merlot right. Too. He's the vineyard guy.
You say Merlot. Next question. What advice would you give to a 9-year-old soccer player?
I love that question. That's probably him asking it. What's it say, Micah? I can't read it. What's his name?
Micah from Bethesda Soccer Club.
Okay, Micah. Great question, man. I think for you, at being 9 years old, obviously everyone always says have fun. But you at that age, touching the ball is the most important thing. Find yourself, especially now. Like now, you may not be in a training environment with your Bethesda club team, so just find a wall and find someone. Maybe it's your parents, whoever can help you. Just get them to pass you the ball, throw you volleys in the air. Just get lots of touches on the ball. That's the best thing you can do at this age. And obviously that, things change a little bit as you get older, but you want to just, at that age, you want to develop your technical ability. And I remember at that age, I was going out in the yard, just juggling all the time, getting my dad to throw balls at me, finding a wall to pass off of. That's the best advice I can give you for your age right now and becoming a better player.
I love it. Let me see if we've got anything else live. On Facebook, we've got Brenda and Joni are both saying, hey, Russell. Hey, Claudia. We've got Sam Maleg watching. Sam's out there. Let's see. Someone on Twitter wants to know any favorite bratwursts.
I don't know. Not really. I don't have like a specific one.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm more of a schnitzel guy. No, I'm
Okay.
still I'm always looking for German restaurant recommendations. So if you have any and you're watching this, feel free to message me about that.
I've got 2 more questions for you before we wrap up. What is your favorite show?
Ooh. I'll say my favorite current show, or the show I'm watching. I mean, everyone's watching Tiger King, but I'm not. I'm just kidding. I am watching that, but that's not my favorite show at all. I'm watching Money Heist right now, and I'm a big fan of that show on Netflix. Have you watched that?
Solid. I did. I just finished it.
I recommend that to anyone kind of bored out there and wants to relax a little bit. Watch Money Heist.
What season are you on right now?
I just finished it. I just finished the final season.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't give any spoilers to anyone else. I talked about it with Yamil when we had him last week, and I almost threw out some spoilers out there, so I won't do that for anyone, but definitely watch it. That's a good show.
Yeah.
Last question I've got for you. I really love this question is, what's your favorite sports moment across any sport of any level? Just what's your favorite sports moment?
All right. I thought it was going to be more difficult, but it popped in my head. I'm a Philadelphia Eagles fan, so like them winning the Super Bowl for me was my favorite sports moment ever. And I know it doesn't have to deal with soccer. Sorry for that, but for me, like that was my team I supported as a kid in football, not soccer, but definitely my favorite personal sports moment.
Definitely should have expected that.
Yeah. Trying to think.
Well, that is all that.
No.
What would your? Do you have a favorite soccer one? You're like, no. We're wrapping up.
Look who just came in.
Lola. I was hoping for a dog sighting.
Well, we kind of saw Yamil's dog on there, but she made an appearance.
Well, that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. The picture does justice.
She opened the door here at the end.
Needed to get in last minute as I was going to close this up. Well, thank you, Russ, for joining us.
No, thank you for having me. Appreciate it. Thanks for everyone who asked questions. Appreciate it. Stay safe.
Bye, Russ. Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for submitting your questions. Everyone stay safe.